Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the least requested, least demanded, and the least downloaded wrestling podcast, PCW. This could be a long podcast, so strap in and shut up and don't be a little bitch about it.
To the masters. Ruthless aggression.
I'm Vince Mcmahon, damn it, let's hear it! Somebody call my mama. I am the boss. I've got a big surprise for you, for Mr. McDaddy. Ruthless aggression. I'm gonna stop being so damn nice. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're gonna burn in hell. I'll make hell look like Sunday school. I own my own competition. Shut up! Drinking on the job? What the hell is this? The WWF is mine. WCW is buried. Anything about the original ECW sucks. Shut up! There is no chance in hell. Suck it. Stand up, you make me sick. If you're an imbecile and you're from Hartford, you'll say, that's my point. I'm gonna kill it. Oh, hell no! Your record sucks. What the hell kind of name is Dreamer? Michael Cole, shut up. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Stone Cold, screw you. You're fired. It's all about the money. I'm your genetic jackhammer. You will worship me. It's me, Austin. Mr. Sucko. Ah! Where's my picture? Where's my football? Handsome son of a... Peace out, my brothers. Daddy's coming home. She just took a trump.
Brett screwed Brett.
You deserve to be screwed. You deserve to be screwed. I will never, ever forgive your mother for giving birth to you. Life sucks, and then you die.
Hey, I'm your host, Wayne, SemiDryChicken, and I'm not by myself today, and let's start this match. It's going to be a pretty packed match here. Coming down to the commentary booth.
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I've got the looks that drives a girl wild. I've got the moves that really move them. I said chill, up and down their spine. I'm just a sexy boy.
Welcome back, Jake.
Thank you. I sung that song myself.
Yeah, dude.
That's me on vocals right there.
Wearing some chaps, coming on out, some nice heart-shaped sunglasses. Yeah. I could see it, dude. I felt it. I see you getting on your knees and then having the pyro going off in the background. I see it.
Hell yeah, pointing to the sky. I'm excited to talk about wrestling with you guys. It's been a hot minute.
Oh, yeah. It's been a hot minute. We have so much to cover. All right, who else are we bringing back today?
Lately, it's our time now to let 'em know. It's our time now to let 'em know. It's our time now to let 'em know. It's our time.
How you doing, Dre?
Hey, what it do, PCW crew? Let's get it in.
Well, welcome back, man.
Thanks for having me back.
All right. And also returning. Welcome back. How you doing, Andrew? Awkward silence. I think he's muted.
I hit him with the chair from the back.
Oh man, he got
my
jumped.
goodness,
Oh man, he got jumped.
Too many check shots to
You
the
were
head.
curtain jerking it, were you? You missed your cue. Oh,
I'm a job.
man. Well, you know.
Job or move.
All right, and right behind you, coming on in.
Super Kick Party!
What's up, Wayne?
How you doing?
Welcome back, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm glad to be back.
How you guys liking those entrance themes? They working for you?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They're great. I mean, mine's the best by far, but the other ones are pretty good too.
Yeah. I
I
like
think
it.
yours is the best, but mine's the best.
You didn't even know yours was playing.
I knew it was playing. I just didn't know I was unmuted.
Okay, Shane McMahon.
So, guys.
Yep. Whole audience looking at the curtain.
What do
and
you
just
guys
nothing
want to
happens.
talk about?
Like Papa Shango at WrestleMania 9 or
You guys want to talk about some shit?
Yeah, not WrestleMania 9.
Yeah.
no.
Let's just go right for the jugular. Let's go right to what everybody wants to fucking talk about. Vin Man, 77 years old, is retiring. He's done. He's washing his hands. He's done with his business. He's giving it all to his daughter. Why?
His daughter and his doofus son-in-law.
And his doofus son-in-law. That's what CM Punk said. And his doofus son-in-law. And it's so funny because now you look back and watch that pipe bomb. A little bit funnier now. It does age well, I guess, right? But yeah, Triple H, part of talent relations again. That's really good for all of us fans. Stephanie as CEO. I mean, co-CEO. As we know, she's co-CEO with Nick Khan, right? Is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
Right, but Nick Khan doesn't really have anything to do with creative.
No, but it's nice to see familiar faces in there because after that was made and announced, WWE for the first time dusted off some of that stock and it went up 9.51%. And I don't know if you're a WWE stockholder, you don't see that very often. So I don't know if it felt like one of those AMC GameStop moments. It's like, oh God, something's happening. Yeah, something did happen. Vince finally walked away, and let's face it, it was forced. He didn't do it.
I was say he walked away, but he was kind of nudged in the back on the way.
Nudged, pushed, kicked. Like, listen, old man, there's millions of dollars going somewhere between 2006 to what was it like? There was like 14.6 million between 2006 and 2022. Just unrecorded expenses.
Hell, if he wants to pay somebody that much money, I'll take it. I'll have sex with Vince McMahon for $14 million.
He can send me dick pics all fucking day if that's what I'm getting. You know, but like the question is like who, and we know it was a female wrestler, but who was released, you know, around that time period? Who could have been? Who he could have paid off? You know,
it was Christy Hemme, right?
I think that's the name I've heard.
I was thinking Christy Hemme
or
up. Maybe Dawn Marie. But I definitely think Christy Hemme. But, yeah, you guys might be spot on there. We just don't have confirmed names yet. Yeah. But it's going to be sooner than later. It's going to happen, right? I mean, some of these are being dropped, but then some of these are being picked up.
Yeah, I mean, people are trying to put the pieces together and speculate. And I don't think any of the women will ever come out and confirm it, at least not while Vince is alive. But at some point, you know, Dark Side of the Ring season 12 or something like that, we'll get to the truth.
Yeah, an A special.
I think they will come out and confirm it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will. I think it'll be some kind of People magazine deal. some kind of TMZ deal. Like, money's going to get on the table, and someone's going to come forward. 100%.
I don't see. I was wondering if they have NDA clauses. That's the only thing I would think that would keep them from ever confirming it.
They probably do, but at this point,
Stormy Daniels had
broken those clauses, right?
I don't know if they would have broken it if they've never. Like, I would
probably want to see this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they never say anything themselves, then I don't think that they've broken the NDA clause.
Sure, but it's not like those are ironclad. Except, Stormy Daniels had an NDA. You know what I mean? We all know that.
When there's nothing to lose, the NDA really holds no value over your head anymore.
That is true. If they don't have anything to lose, but who knows how vindictive or whatever Vince may be on a personal level. Like, the WWE may never come after them for if they ever come out and confirm things, but Vince on a personal level, he could, if he decides to be that
have
type
him
of
killed. What's he gonna do?
I don't know. He may decide to sue or whatever. Who knows? I doubt he could do anything of substance, but
no,
they might not want to deal with it.
If it's in the court, it'll go into the public record, right? Mm-hmm. So we might know through court filings or whatever.
I was just in.
My gut tells me it's definitely going to come out, and it's going to come out from the person.
Mm-hmm. Vince also sold $2.7 million in his own WWE stock as of recent. Now that, I was just like, oh, the guy just retired. Of course he's going to sell some stock. Like,
he's still the major stockholder even after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I don't know why people were such in arms of so much. It's really not that much money. 2.7, not for a billionaire like him.
I mean, he paid $3 million for one NDA.
He still has 28.7 million shares.
Yeah, but I say he divested some stock, I guess, and still holds an overwhelming majority still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And with that, the voting power too. Like, he can still approve pretty much anything, whether he's CEO or not. He's the majority vote. He's the Class B stock. He's by far the overwhelming shareholder of that.
Yeah. On a corporate level, he can he has some input on corporate decisions, but for the average fan, he wouldn't have. It's not a big deal for the average fan, because in terms of the day-to-day ongoings within the company.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the best way to piss Vince McMahon off would be if you were booking the show? Like, what do you think he least wants to see?
Bury the fuck out of Austin Theory.
Sneeze in front of Brock Lesnar.
That's funny.
Sneeze. I mean, I don't know, like
Johnny
changing some of these gimmicks back to some of their NXT gimmicks, ones that worked.
Yeah.
Like going
giving
backwards.
people their last names back.
Yeah, giving people their last names back. More pyro. Music would be a big one. That would be a big one because that would win fans over. I mean,
hire the CFOs back.
What's that?
Hire the people that did the NXT things back.
Yeah. They need to bring back a lot of people, and then there's also a lot of people they need to get rid of. Like Bruce Pritchard's still around. But Kevin Dunn,
get rid of the tie-dye.
Love you.
Yeah, so that would work. Get rid of the tie-dye and go back to the black and gold.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I don't care.
Funny. Go back to 1.0. NXT returns to 1.0 next week on USA.
I'd be like, okay, I'm in.
Roman Reigns might have done a pretty decent job of triggering Vince this past Monday with his little brilliant line.
Man,
to Austin Theory.
Good. Your daddy's not here anymore. I mean, even Paul, I think that was definitely unscripted because just the way everybody reacted to and it just played off so well.
Everybody had the oh shit reaction.
Yeah. It worked with the crowd.
It was that makes me think it was scripted. Everyone was ready with their crazy reactions. I lean toward this was very scripted.
I completely agree with Jake. If it's on WWE television, it's scripted.
Yeah, I think they have some freedom to ad lib, but that line, I think somebody definitely told him to say put this line in definitely.
Yeah, there's no way he could say that without approval to say that. I don't think.
Yeah, perhaps not that Monday. Not with Steph there.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Oh,
I never thought I'd see the day. I honestly thought that I would pass away before Vince McMahon wasn't the CEO of WWE.
Vince McMahon's going to be 150 years
Jesus
old.
Christ, how old do you think Vince McMahon's going to live to be?
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
He's going to freeze himself and come back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
now, then, forever.
Yeah, I mean, he's right, though, because it's pretty much been, prior to this, Vince has always said that he would likely be carried out of Titan Tower feet first. And that's probably how he would go. Like, he was committed to this thing literally until the day he died. So
I know a lot of people are worried
if the scandal had not happened, then he wasn't going anywhere. He would probably be geriatric in a wheelchair, still telling people what to say on the mic.
And I
think you know what's crazy, Dre, is I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying, I think people are going to be worried about his health now that he's going to have a lot more free time on his hands. He's not going to be on the road if his health is going to diminish. But
he's still going to be right there in Gorilla.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be just over their shoulder, but with like, I'm allowed to be here. You know what you should do, Stephanie? You should do this. Dad, I got it. Like, honey, you know you should do this. It will look great. Like, old man, sit down.
She's just like, Dad, go hang out with your buddy.
Where's the nurse?
You know what I'm talking about.
Like Vince McMahon's will and testament would have 6 months of storyline in it.
I remember thinking
he died in a limo crash. What happened? Or a limo explosion. What happened to that?
Oh yeah.
That's what happened.
Benoit died the week after that, right?
Yeah.
I remember thinking when the Me Too movement was in strong kick, I was like, wow, I can't believe Vince made it past that. He's invincible. I'm shocked.
That's probably when he was paying out the most money.
Oh,
he's invincible.
Right. Invincible.
That's probably when the price went up. Like he was doing $500,000 payments before then, and after Me Too kicked in, all right, now it's cost him a couple million.
No, I specifically when that was in full swing, I was specifically thinking of Vince McMahon. Like, oh, he's done for. He's got 2-3 weeks max, and Vince McMahon is going to be on this list. And I was shocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I think he paid out the most money probably then.
I wonder if he's going to be like, you hear these old couples, they're married for 75 years, one of them dies, 2 months later, the other one's dead, even though they were in perfect health. They just don't know what to do with themselves when their life purpose,
I mean, he's married. He does have Linda.
He's married, sure.
Yeah, but isn't it rumored that like Vince and Linda have been
every single day, every single week for 40 years? You know what I mean? Like, this guy workaholic. They say he sleeps 3 hours a night or something insane like that. He's working. And what's he gonna? Is he gonna throw a do-rag on and go down to the grocery store, pick up some, ham and cheese to make sandwiches? Like, what does retirement Vince look like?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time he threw on a do-rag to do anything, but what was that?
I said he learns how to play 2K and books his own shows on 2K then.
Yeah.
I'll say Vince about to start a Twitch account.
Vince on Twitch.
How do you work this goddamn thing? He's like, I could see him with the headset on and everything, just yelling at the wrestlers. Oh, God. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he started a podcast.
Hey, whoever gets him as a guest. Who do you guys think would be the first one to have him on, since his retirement? Who you think Stone Cold
would have him on a podcast?
I think Dre's on the right path. I think he'll start his own podcast before he'll be a guest on anyone else's.
Oh, God.
Yeah, really? I don't see him going on anybody else's because, one, he's Vince McMahon, and he ain't going to... Well, first of all, if anybody's going to get an interview, it's going to be a television interview. It ain't going to be just some small-level podcast.
No.
Like, he'd be getting interviewed by somebody major, but...
I'll interview myself.
But it seems to be the thing that, a lot of people retire, get out the business, and start a podcast. That's what happened to Ric Flair. Started his podcast, and Jim Cornette got his podcast going, and plenty of others. I would not be surprised if after maybe, a year or so like that, once things kind of, the heat dies down off him, I wouldn't be surprised if Vince McMahon started him a little podcast.
Can you understand?
Or at the very least, a book.
Yeah. A book.
Oh, yeah.
I could understand him more in a book. I mean, a podcast would be like...
It could be beneath him. He might see it as beneath him.
Oh, dude, I believe that, too. Definitely, beneath him. I bet he thinks a lot of shit's beneath him. Like, talent.
entire corporations.
Yeah. So, we also, people who are watching Raw, well, some of you guys who watch Raw, we did suspect that we might see a little bit of creative changes, maybe. Did you guys see any? I think we were discussing that on the Discord. I think Raw seemed a little different than normal. It was
in what ways?
Interesting. Like, I didn't turn
I
off.
say it had a
Raw.
lot more energy than a normal Raw.
Yeah, I mean, like, even on the Discord,
I loved the opening segment. The opening segment was great with Miz and that guy who I can never remember the hell he is.
Logan
Paul.
Who's
Logan Paul? That was great. I mean, because Raw always starts with a 15-minute promo, you know. So it was nice to see like the show starts and we're going, you know. A nice change there.
His promos are just rough though. Like, for a guy who spends a lot of time in, like, you know, I guess scripted stuff, he's probably just not good at. Today is tonight, and tonight is Monday, and Monday is Monday Night Raw. Okay.
Oh yeah, for Logan Paul, yeah, because he's used to probably talking in that vlog format as opposed to cutting us promo, which is more like a public speech. So yeah, he's not as well versed in that. But from my aspect, what seemed different about Raw, I don't think that was a completely original script from Triple H and Steph or anything like that. But what I do think is some of the execution. I think Triple H definitely had his hands on that from the very opening of Raw in terms of straight fight. Like, they cut to it live and it's not entrance music and somebody coming to the ring. No, straight action from the jump. It immediately grabs people's attention. I think that has Triple H's influence. The Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, them coming out straight fighting. None of this rehashing the same things on the mic over and over again and saying, nope, Bianca on the mic, Becky come in, you know what? Let's just get straight to it. To me, that reeks of Triple H's influence in terms of like getting straight to the action, things that are going to get people's attention and not just dragging the same thing on without any type of real progression or just recycling the same stuff over and over again just until we finally get down to the match. And it kind of felt like it had a little bit more kinetic energy. I don't know if that was just the natural energy just from Vince being gone or what, but this week's Raw definitely felt like it had more energy and was more streamlined and definitely had more action to it. Like, the only real flaw that I saw in it was the end of the Rey Mysterio celebration and Judgment Day coming out, and then they cut to commercial, and then when they came back from commercial, we were instantly in the match. Like, that to me, that was the only part that seemed a little weak, but the rest of it, yeah, I felt Triple H's influence. Like, I was kind of jokingly talking about it in the Discord, but I really meant it. Like, it felt like Triple H's influence was there just in terms of how much more action we got in our segments as opposed to just people yapping on the mic for 5 to 10 minutes.
Right. Well,
it's interesting.
Triple H says rumor has it Triple H is looking to make a creative splash at SummerSlam. And I wonder how. So I might be trying to keep my eyes open for that.
That could be related to the
Seth Rollins
storyline.
Yeah, but who would he like? Okay, Triple H like, fine, I have a match for you. Go in the ring. I'll get your opponent. Who could come back at SummerSlam that would be worth the pop? I mean,
I know who you want to say.
We had this already at WrestleMania, so to do it again at SummerSlam, obviously it's not going to be Cody Rhodes, right? He's not ready to come back. And even it would be like, no, I want somebody different for SummerSlam.
Yeah, but I'll say it's a little different though from WrestleMania because WrestleMania was a thing that everybody knew and saw coming. Like, we all knew Cody was coming to the WWE, and we all knew he was going to be at WrestleMania. So that was we saw it coming. So it was just the confirmation of seeing what we all wanted to see and being happy. If he's talking about making a creative splash, then a surprise opponent that to this point we don't know of and likely will not know of, that could be the spot where he could make that creative splash if he wanted to.
Unless somebody that Vince fired.
Johnny Gargano, bring him back.
Yeah, in terms of bringing somebody in that we don't see coming, or because I don't know that he can make a creative splash with any type of finish to any match of substance. Except for maybe if nobody cares about the outcome of the Roman Reigns and Lesnar match. So there's no room for a creative splash there. And maybe Street Profits finally taking the titles off the Usos. That could be a bit of a creative splash, breaking up the dominant run that the Bloodline has had. Maybe those are probably like the only two places I can see a creative splash happening, either in the tag title match or whoever Seth Rollins' opponent is going to be.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit shocked. Oh, sorry. About how much of a difference you've already seen in that first Raw. Because I got to be honest with you, if I wouldn't have known anything was to look for, I wouldn't have seen anything. And I don't blame Triple H for that. I mean, I think their hands are a little bit tied. It's a SummerSlam go-home show. It's not like he can just kick the needle off the record and just start fresh. Like, he's kind of locked into what was already going on.
Oh, yeah,
it doesn't seem like the kind of thing where Vince planned for 6 months this was going to be the day he walked away from the company. So I think he's literally locked into these SummerSlam go-home like programs.
Yeah.
Whether or not the Seth Rollins angle is him kicking that needle off the record and making some Triple H splashes, that's yet to be seen. But honestly, other than that, to me, it just felt like same day, same business on Monday. I didn't find it to be like, I didn't think it was a terrible show, but I didn't think it was a very memorable show. I'm usually not the biggest fans of the week before pay-per-view go-home shows anyway. It always just feels like we got to spin the wheels one more week before we get to what we actually want to see. And honestly, that's what this Raw felt like to me. I'm shocked that you already seem to see so much Triple H change. I feel like it's going to be months before we see like radical change than an actual
maybe it's just little subtle things. Like, we did get some blood on some color, but that could also be, this is also
they've already been leaning that way a bit more anyway.
I think that I tie more to the TV-14 thing.
Yeah, the TV-14
that was hard
kick off at SummerSlam.
Anyway. Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, Jake. And admittedly, there could be some confirmation bias playing into it. Just the fact that we know Triple H is running it.
If you didn't know, would you? More. Honestly, though, Dre, if you didn't know, would you be talking about the show like the way you are?
Probably. I honestly probably would not if I did not know.
Yeah, I agree with Jake 100%. I
would say that.
I think I was looking for it.
If I didn't know, I wouldn't necessarily think that this show was a lesser show. Like, I genuinely thought it was an excellent episode of Raw. Genuinely. And maybe I'm just giving Triple H more credit for it in light of the recent events, but I did still think it was a good show. I'll say that. And perhaps if I hadn't known, would I be sitting here saying, oh, that was Triple H's thing, or would I just be sitting here thinking, damn, Vince put together a really decent show? Again, like I said, there could be some confirmation bias playing in, given that we do know the circumstances of what's going on with the WWE now. But that doesn't necessarily change what I thought of the episode of Raw. I did still think it was an excellent go-home show, regardless of who was behind it in creative or not.
All right. Yeah, I think this change will be much slower. And I think, like, say, if you watch tonight's Raw or last week's Raw a year from now and compare it to Raw, whatever week, 52 Raws from now, I think you might be able to look back and say, oh, wow, I really see a change here, but it's going to be slow. It's going to be little things here, little things there. I don't think it's going to be an immediate. I mean, and there might be a couple of things here and there that seem like an immediate thing. Maybe whoever this Seth Rollins opponent ends up being, if it's Bray Wyatt, maybe, that might be something more immediate. But I think, they're kind of locked in. I think they're going for Rock Reigns at WrestleMania. So, I mean, they kind of have the rest of the year anyway planned out what they're building towards. So I don't know that things are going to change drastically overnight. It's just going to be a slow kind of. But let's not forget Kevin Dunn's role in all this. It looks like he's probably on the way out the door too. And if he goes, if you don't know, Kevin Dunn is like the producer, basically. He's the guy going camera 1, camera 2, camera,
Oh, that guy? Yeah, I can't wait till he's fucking gone. I don't need all these camera fucking shakes and like camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 1, camera 2. No,
Right.
dude,
It's
like, he's like leaning on the fucking
recently.
keyboard.
That's why I like AEW so much more, because it's constant. And they miss stuff. Remember when Edge came back at the Royal Rumble? They missed his spear when he came in because they were fucking around with flashing.
Crowd.
Just last SummerSlam, they basically missed the end of the Becky Bianca match. Even, we remember it was a quickie. But they were fucking around showing other shit, and then all of a sudden the match is over.
Yeah.
So if Kevin Dunn leaves, I think you'll see more immediate change, hopefully.
In the visual aspect of just how Raw looks, yeah, definitely. And yes, please get rid of. They can't end that whole camera 1, camera 2, back and forth cutting every time somebody's getting a beat down. They can't end that soon enough. It was still there. It was still present on this week's Monday Night Raw, but man, I hope that's one of the first things they do is axe that shit.
But creative can really only improve, right? Things can only get better.
Yeah, I kind of agree and somewhat disagree with you as far as how quickly things can change. Yeah, I do agree that they are kind of probably on course with certain things, at least going in towards WrestleMania next year. But in terms of looking at some of these individual storylines, some of these can be concluded at this upcoming SummerSlam, which could open up towards at least not a wholesale roster change, but there is room to push some people in different directions moving forward. Like the Bianca, for example, Bianca and the Becky Lynch. That feud can definitely end at SummerSlam, and whoever comes out the winner that's a new creative direction that they can go with whoever walks out of that champion in terms of whatever their next feud's going to be. I think the same thing with Street Profits and Usos. So I think there's some room after SummerSlam for them to go in some new creative directions with certain talent. But yeah, long term, there are some things that they probably are still tied to that they still want to pursue, like you said, like a Rock and Roman Reigns at next year's WrestleMania.
Also, I wonder how quickly things will or how quickly new guys will get pushed and stuff, because a lot of topic is the WWE going to be for sale sooner rather than later? Are they trying to show that they can survive and without Vince McMahon and be viable and still draw TV ratings and whatnot? Their TV deal is coming up at the end of next year, and as we know, that's how they make most of their money these days.
Is it the TV deal or just the streaming deal with Hulu? Because I heard the streaming deal with Hulu was set to the Peacock thing. I think is through the end of 2024, but the Fox and why am I blanking? USA deal, I believe that ends the end of next year. So they'll be looking to renegotiate. I mean, the NFL, the last time they renegotiated their TV deal, made almost twice as much money. So what kind of? I think they want to be as bankable as possible. And can they really afford to push unproven guys in the short term anyway? These are just all questions to ask going forward. Who knows?
Well, according to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, The Rock could be one of the partners who would be interested in acquiring the wrestling brand in the future. Another name that was thrown out was Tony Khan.
I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be Comcast or Disney or Warner Brothers, something like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think Comcast actually makes perfect sense. They need IP. And they already have an existing partnership going back, to Dick Ebersol days with Saturday Night Main Event, So I think that would be a natural. I mean, of course, I'm not in the boardroom, but
we don't know that. This is a podcast.
It would be a natural fit to me.
Yeah. Opposite. If anybody buys WWE, it'll be a corporation. I can't see an individual stepping up to buy it. Damn sure not Tony Khan. And The Rock, he ain't got the money himself to do it, so obviously he'd be part of a purchasing group. But I don't know that
he just bought the XFL. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but he bought it for pennies, though.
Yeah.
Pennies on the dollar.
XFL wasn't really that highly valued.
It just looks like Man, Rock's taking everybody's sloppy seconds. Taking Vince's XFL, now you can take his WWE. What's next?
Yeah,
But
and honestly,
XFL was really heating up right before
It
COVID.
was.
hit.
I was actually interested. I was like watching it, and yeah, COVID's what killed it. Unfortunately,
Everyone I know was talking about it. I couldn't believe how much buzz the XFL
yeah,
had.
it was picking up, and then like you said, COVID happened and killed it, and killed its value, which allowed The Rock to come in and scoop it up with his group, of which I believe, I know his wife was part of it, but I think aren't they like 50-50 owners or something like that, or something to that effect?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, not his current wife, his first wife.
The one that's his agent.
Rock's remarried already?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
remarried, got a kid with his
that.
second wife, but he's still business partners with his first wife.
I said there's a lot of money in being The Rock's ex-wife.
I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, yeah, they're business partners, and like I said, one of the biggest things they did was the XFL purchase.
And they have children too, right? Like his daughter's getting ready to like be on wrestling.
Yeah,
Right.
his oldest daughter.
She had
Simone.
on NXT a house show last week.
Yeah,
Oh,
she made an
not
NXT
quick.
debut recently.
Oh wow.
There you go. I can't wait to see Rock's daughter against Triple H's daughter.
I was going to say Rock's daughter versus Charlotte Flair, but yeah, Rock's daughter and Triple H's daughter. Oh yeah, that's coming.
Now here's a question: what do we think this does for recruiting? Do we think people are more or less likely to want to sign with WWE because Vince is gone, or would people like Lesnar tried to walk out, because Vince left, he was going to leave too.
I
Like
feel like that was just,
what impact?
Okay, I thought that was just clickbait shit. The whole Brock Lesnar leaving, just because like
Maybe it was.
it was like what, not even 2 hours, and he shows up at the end of the show.
No, from what I've heard, he absolutely, legitimately walked out. Now, it may not have been a rage protest thing.
Yeah.
He may have just walked out because he was emotional, or maybe just done it as a demonstration thing to show solidarity with Vince, and maybe somebody had to talk him into coming back. I've heard varying stories, but no, he absolutely, definitely walked out.
Because they were already talking about maybe trying to get a hold of Goldberg, to replace him, and I was like, all right, you're fucking kidding me. Like Goldberg was Plan B, right off the bat.
If they couldn't get Lesnar back, yeah.
I bet that was all manufactured stuff to get people to watch the show.
That's what I thought too, Jay, because I was like, this seems like clickbait shit, because he just came back, and maybe he was talked back into coming back in after he was heated, and he's, for all we know, SummersLam could be it, and then, Brock's gone for God knows how long. Which I'd be
just the way that news spread like wildfire. I don't know. I got to imagine that Brock it was all just a storyline. They leaked it themselves. I mean,
Will Brock show up at SmackDown tonight, even though he quit the company earlier today?
yeah, and I think it's an interesting question about whether or not people are going to be more likely to want to join because Vince is gone. Because I think Triple H carries his own set of baggage as well. He's been in the business a long time, and he's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So it's not like well, Vince is gone and jolly old Saint Nick is here.
Well, there's a quote going around from an unnamed current AEW wrestler, former WWE wrestler. I think it's probably Adam Cole or Kyle O'Reilly, but it says, I'm glad I went to AEW, but if I was graduating to a Triple H-led SmackDown or Raw, I probably would have re-signed with WWE before my deal was up.
Yeah, you're right, Jake, about Triple H has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way over the years, but I think a lot of that was during his active wrestling career. Because from what I've heard, from all intents and purposes, is him as a creative and an executive, he's loved by wrestlers. He seems to have, I don't know if maybe once he got out, he turned over a new leaf and became more open-minded, or just since he no longer had his own spot to protect as an active wrestler, maybe he softened his stance and became much more agreeable with people or what. But he seems to be pretty well loved as a creative and executive. So I think that's going to do nothing but help them in terms of recruiting prime talent. Now, I think where it comes to some of the older veterans who were who Vince was more enamored with, I think they might have, they may be less enthused by his by Vince's retirement. People like a Brock Lesnar, perhaps even a Roman Reigns. They may be less enthused by it. By Triple H taking over creative, but like a Sasha Banks and a Naomi, I think there's a strong chance that they could get them back now that Vince is gone.
I definitely believe that.
Sure, and could that be a SummerSlam thing? You know,
that would be a hell of a shock if they popped up at SummerSlam. I don't think it's going.
Bayley can come back on the same night.
I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be a hell of a shock.
I don't think so either.
I think it's too soon for them to come back, but Bayley, I could see coming.
Sure.
Where the fuck?
We've been thinking Bayley's going to come back for like the last 3 months.
I know.
Yeah, she's been. Yeah, word is she's been medically cleared since WrestleMania and ain't popped up yet.
Yeah, she's doing a lot of tweeting. She's talking a lot of trash on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's
I don't know what they waiting on.
Were you?
But that could also have been a Vince thing. That could have just been a Vince thing. Like, let's hold it. And now that Triple H is in there, he's like, get this woman on TV now. Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck are we doing letting this prime talent sit at home?
Do you guys think we'll see Alexa Bliss get rid of the little Lily doll now? You think
no?
We're gonna see.
No, it makes.
I think Alexa Bliss likes it.
You think so?
She said she liked it on her podcast. On the podcast she did with Ryan Sadden last week.
No, that thing sells.
She's moving merch.
Exactly, you're right. She's moving merch. That thing ain't going nowhere.
It too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's all about the merch.
And the storyline isn't silly because of the way Alexa Bliss presents it. Like, she gives it her all. Like, she's great in that role. It's just the way she's booked against people and the way she wins matches and the way her storylines go. Like, her acting talent in that role is the only thing working for it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if I wanted to say something, and if I was going to just touching back to our earlier conversation about Triple H's influence, I think her promo might have been a bit of a Triple H influence, just in the simple fact that she, rather than just doing her own thing or whatever she's doing and just kind of just treading water while the other people who actually have matches go into SummerSlam, she cut a promo and basically said, I'm next. Whichever one of y'all walks out, I'm coming for you. To me, that kind of echoed of Triple H thing, like planning future storylines alongside current ones that are happening. Whereas in the past, they seem kind of singularly focused on, all right, we're focused on this storyline and the rest of y'all just kind of middle about until we get around to wanting to do something with you. Whereas here, they're putting some more layers into it. Like, we got the Bianca Becky Lynch thing going, and here's the thing that's coming up next, right after it to look forward to. So,
another title match, though. Like, that's WWE has enough depth in their women that they could have more programs besides title matches. But all the other programs that aren't title matches with the women are like almost comedy routines.
Right. And we talked about that in previous shows, that one of the things we said that they need to do that I would love to see Triple H do, it is introduce a mid-card women's title.
Yeah.
Or
even that, just have a fun focus. Like, there's a ton of storylines with dudes that are feuding that have nothing to do with the title. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just not that hard. And then you build up people in the process.
They used to do women's storylines without the title. Like, a lot of, like, even in the late 2010s.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the only thing that they need is that they can absolutely do multiple storylines that don't revolve around the women's title. I just think that the women's roster is robust enough that it can support more than just one single title on each brand. Mm-hmm. And an intermediate title is a good way to give the newer women and the up and coming ones something to shoot for, as opposed to just being involved in random storylines until it's their time to fight for the Raw or SmackDown Women's title.
I agree with that. I would rather have that mid title than the tag team titles. Like, those are completely worthless.
Yeah.
Especially now, we haven't seen them on TV in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, they were going to do a tournament, and I guess they realized they don't have enough women.
What was the pay-per-view they did? All women Evolve? Was that one? Evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why haven't we seen another one of those?
I agree.
The rumor was that it was the lowest watched pay-per-view ever in existence. Somebody heard about that. Something like that.
Is that true?
That's the rumor somebody heard.
There's no way that could be true. I don't buy that for a second.
Yeah. You know what, though? I know.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I wasn't watching wrestling active at the time, and that hearing about that pay-per-view got my interest. I didn't end up watching it, but it damn sure got my interest, and it caught my attention enough to make me curious and make me consider watching it. I just didn't want to pay for Peacock at the time, or WWE Network, whichever one it was. But it was significant enough that it got my attention and made me turn my eyes back to the WWE for a moment. Like, oh, they doing that? Oh, shit. Yeah, so it definitely got my attention. So, I mean, if it was able to pull somebody who wasn't actively watching anymore and pull me back in, I'm pretty sure it got other people to actually tune in and watch.
I think we got, like,
there's no way that, like, Backlash or whatever got more views than that did. I don't believe it.
And Charlotte, I think, was going against Trish Stratus. That may have been one of the matches. I'm not quite sure. But I think I
couldn't tell you a single match that happened on that pay-per-view.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. But I think, from what I heard, is it was given... Like, the idea was given to them because at the time they couldn't have any women go with them when they went to Saudi Arabia. Like, did the Saudi tours. So I feel like that was the answer because they weren't on TV. And, like, I think it was the pay-per-view, was it, like, right before the Saudi show? Like,
you might be right.
You guys remember those? The Saudi tours? I think they're going to be doing those again.
I'll never forget.
Well, actually, will we get those again now that Vin Man's not in charge?
I mean, they're paying $10 million
that money
per show.
They have no scruples.
Yeah, they ain't got Vince, but they still got shareholders.
Yeah. What's crazy, the matches we could possibly get out of those with Saudi money. You know, that's probably get hopefully some good matches. But
Goldberg will fight again.
Yeah, always.
Absolutely.
And Mansoor will be undefeated. Mansoor's always
they've been garbage on such a level that they're almost entertaining now.
Yeah, at least Triple H.
Titus O'Neil falling face first under the ring during the greatest Royal Rumble, I think, was maybe the highlight of the Saudi show.
Shawn Michaels and Triple H's last match was there against Kane and Undertaker. Dude, that's their last.
That was horrible.
Can you? I can't fathom that's their last match. Like that
But
in my
Triple
mind.
H,
I try to believe that match doesn't exist. Like in my mind, Shawn Michaels' last match was against the Undertaker, and that will forever be his last match to me. You know?
Yeah, we just treat that
matches.
We treat that match the way we treat Michael Jordan's Washington Wizards years. They never happened.
Well, also, like
there's another last match coming up.
Yeah, Ric Flair.
Woo!
Yeah,
that's gonna be terrible. The card of the show looks great.
Yeah.
It's a great wrestling show.
$63 a pay-per-view watch for that? Something like that?
Oh, if I watch it, I'll illegally pirate it.
I can
allegedly
attempt it. I mean, allegedly, I'll watch it some way.
Yeah, it's going to be on after SummerSlam. Or is it going to be on after or before SummerSlam? I think it's after, right?
It's on Sunday.
Yeah,
it's on Sunday.
Man, you got to follow SummerSlam.
Jeff Jarrett. The weekend of Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, he's getting 2 fucking paychecks that weekend. What the hell?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Now that's JEFFJARRETT.
I was getting Tiger King vibes with his fucking mustache and shit that he had. His facial hair. I was like, dude, I just...
100%.
That's what I had, Tiger King vibes. Oh, man.
Dude, they say that after nuclear winter or whatever, there's going to be Twinkies and cockroaches, and the only other thing will be there is Jeff Jarrett.
Mm-hmm. So this SummerSlam card that we got, the Mysterios versus Judgment Day. Do you guys think that Rey Mysterio is not going to be able to make it now that he got put through a table, and then they're going to have to replace it with Edge and hopefully Bray Wyatt? I mean, that's what I'm dreaming, hoping. But are we going to get it? Or are we just going to get the Mysterios versus Judgment Day?
I think we're going to get the Mysterios, and hopefully we'll get a Dominic turn.
I agree with Dre, but I lean towards we're still not going to get the fucking Dominic turn.
Oh yeah, not after that celebration, the 20th. That's just gonna end with a feel good. The daughter's gonna punch Rhea Ripley in the face.
I mean, Rhea Ripley stole her man. Of course, she's gonna punch him in his face.
You know, and everyone's gonna go home happy on that one, I think.
pretty sure Rhea would crush her. I mean,
How about say?
they used her pretty well.
She might want to get
this
up in the
week.
face, but I don't know if she want them problems.
I mean, it's good to see her back too, by the way. But yeah, they used her pretty well this week. Like, she wasn't just a character who just stood aside, like as a female character in a stable. Like, that's what they were doing for a while, just having.
Yeah, they're usually damsel in distress. She was the
puts her hands up
terrorizer,
and just like just is a distraction. Like this one,
she was the threat.
they were all like stomping the shit out of Ray. I did kind of laugh though when they put him through the table, just because Damian Priest is so big, you know, and Ray's so tiny, and I just like
I
giggled.
can't believe there was a
He's like,
cake and no one got their face smashed into it.
Yeah, I bet it's because they were probably eating the cake. They're like, no, we want to eat this one.
How do you have a cake on Monday Night Raw and not have anyone's face smashed into
You
it?
don't have fucking Vince McMahon. That's why.
God damn it! But
Yeah.
it's cake.
That's one thing Vince got right.
It's ears and it's nose.
It's got Vince written all over it. What other dumb shit will we not see anymore? Like, I'm very curious to know how much longer we're going to get the 24/7 title shit going on. I mean,
Fart jokes, maybe.
Fart jokes. Dude, Alexa Bliss won the 24/7 title. And she
Yeah.
won it in like 2 seconds. She lost it in like 2 seconds. That was a real thing that happened. Like,
I'm okay with that belt dying post Vince McMahon.
Oh God.
yeah, retire the belt too. Like, just fucking put these wrestlers back in gimmicks and wrestling matches.
And then they should have in like 5 years have R-Truth pop up, and he thinks no one told him that he doesn't have to defend the belt anymore. So
That's
he's just
hilarious.
I'm
he's
fine with
just been
that.
running around with it.
Like them, they're saying like, "Hey, that title's supposed to be vacated." Like, that, you know, and
he's
just
like
walking around, just
Japanese
being this
guys they
champion.
found after World War II that they never told the war ended.
That would be
They found
funny.
it Like 1951, and they're like,
Let
He
him
come out with the 24/7 title, talking about I'm the longest reigning champion since Bruno San Martino.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
like,
He's-
I
yeah,
kinda
he's not
don't,
famous,
that
bitch.
title years ago.
What was that, Jake?
I kind of don't hate the 24/7 belt. I'll play devil's advocate here. As long as it's not interrupting a Royal Rumble or a title match, I actually think it's a pretty funny comedy, waste some time routine. They've done a lot worse than that arena, and I don't think the 24/7 is the worst offender. I have a guilty pleasure for R-Truth. I actually find him quite fucking hilarious, and yeah, I don't necessarily hate it. Like I said, I roll my eyes when it interrupts what should be considered serious stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
But when that's not happening, you got a 3-hour show to fill. I'm okay with it.
I understand that. I feel that. I somewhat disagree because I don't mind it. I don't like seeing it on TV. I wouldn't mind if it was used for like their internet content, like for their YouTube channel or something like that. And it was just used to bolster that stuff, or then I would be okay with it. Like, you know, weekly YouTube videos up, you know, on their channel with the 24/7 title, or just digital exclusive content. I just don't like seeing it on Raw. Every time I see it on Raw, I'm just like, this could have been something else.
Yeah, maybe the show doesn't need to be 3 hours.
Hey.
Oh, 100%. If we cut that shit down to 2 hours, then I want that 24/7 title gone fucking
I
stat.
did put in
Like,
that interview with Triple H on Stone Cold's podcast.
Yeah.
He said if he was ever in charge, he would love to knock it down in 2 hours. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I remember those days.
Yeah,
It used to
would
be a
ideal.
treat. It'd be like, next week, a special 3-hour Raw, and you'd be like, yay! And now you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, every now and then have one, sure. But
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think they can singularly decide that, because USA is going to have a say in it. Because I think even though it's 3 hours, it is still the #1 show on Monday nights on cable television. So USA might not want to give up that extra hour.
yeah,
Where's-
you're probably right about that.
Worst case scenario is we get a 3-hour SmackDown, right?
Oh no, Fox ain't doing that.
No, Fox ain't doing that.
Fox
ain't
has
doing
enough.
that.
Fox
I like
got
that.
plenty of programming to. They don't need that 3rd hour.
Fox
like
only
USA
runs
does.
2 hours of prime time anyway, right? They have a weird thing where they only run 7 to 9.
yeah, they're out.
Yeah, 7 to 9 or 8 to 10. Yeah, 10 o'clock is usually, at least here, is local news.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, I can't see that, but Yeah, make these shows 2 hours, then I'm all about getting rid of the 24/7 title. But yeah, I don't know. I like seeing what wrestlers suck so hard that this is the only thing we have for them. And I hear the other argument. Triple H is in charge. He finds something for everyone. No one has time for this stupid comedy belt garbage because everyone's promoted to the tops. But I mean, the sad truth is everyone can't be promoted to the tops. There's no booker that's that good.
Right.
But make the 24/7 title matches like kind of matter. I mean, like we're getting like all these roll-ups constantly. Like, come on! Like the other night, didn't the title like change hands like 6 times or something, and end up with the same person at the end?
Yeah,
I mean,
literally everybody who was out
match.
there in the ring became the champion in the course of like 2 minutes.
That's the joke, though. Like they're in on that joke too. Yeah, it is the joke. Like the writers aren't like, oh, this is really gonna wow them. They're gonna be like, whoa, 20 belt changes in 5 minutes, and all the roll ups, like that. All that shit's on purpose. Like, I feel like you are falling for a prank if you're upset about stuff that's going on with the 24/7 belt.
Right, and I hear you. I agree with all of that. I just don't want to see it on Raw. like Saturday Night Live, they got SNL has their stuff that's on makes the main show, and then they have like their SNL digital content. Do the same thing with that. Make the 24/7 title your digital content. I think, and honestly, I think that creatively opens them up to do more things with it. Arguably, by making it a digital thing, because then you're not locked into trying to figure out how to fit it within the Raw show that's happening in that arena. You do it digitally, you could have the 24/7 title change at hands at a supermarket or something like that. You could have like, R-Truth is like, at home or something like that. He goes out and takes the trash out at the end of the night. Somebody runs up with a freaking bag of trash, takes the title, drives off. Like, I think you have way more creative freedom if you take it off of Raw and make it its own separate digital thing.
They were doing that at first when Drake Maverick was getting married every week.
Yeah, and then we had R-Truth somebody pinned him on the plane or something, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. Like, that kind of stuff was funny. Yeah, when it was off location, wasn't in the ring, interrupting matches that I was, like, actually focused on, and then, like, 24/7 bullshit's happening. I guess this match is done.
Yeah.
So
that's
taking me out of the fucking match. Mm-hmm. I agree. Like, make it digital. Like, they want.
You guys are trying to bury it. You're acting like it's a draw. Like, don't give me this make believe bullshit where people are like, oh shit, I got to go online to get my 24/7 content. Like, I hear what you're saying with the SNL digital short comparison. The difference is people want to see those SNL digital shorts. Like, that's like funny stuff that funny creators are doing. Like, you can't. There's no draw there. Like, they're not going to move it online and just bury it. They're just going to end the program.
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Yeah. Are you going to watch it? Like, Dre, when they move 24/7 online, are you watching it ever again?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But even if they didn't, but even if they wanted to keep it on Raw, if they did it like the way I said, like if it was just like a pre-filmed vignette that happened on Raw, I would probably accept that.
They do that sometimes with it. They've done that quite a bit with it, from what I've seen.
But just I think what bothers me the most of it is just the live segment happening on Raw or interrupting matches and stuff like that. I think that's the stuff that bothers me, because it's like that could have been something else. But if say they like on one segment of every Raw, we're like, here's our weekly 24/7 title update, and then they go to some pre-filmed vignette, I would probably be okay with that.
I'm not going to lie. I set a timer when we started talking about the 24/7 belt, and I've got money on if I can make it past 20 minutes. So,
oh my God. I was just about to say the conversation about this title has been longer than any match in history.
It's like longer than the last 6 24/7 things combined.
Oh my God!
Right. Well, I was like, if we all had a belt, we'd have all been champion 2 times over by now.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious though. I'm gonna stomp my foot in that I think the shit's hilarious, and the fact that you guys are so bothered by it almost makes me love it more.
Man, you know what? It doesn't make you a Grand Slam champion, okay? Charlotte doesn't have it.
Have you ever looked up the Wikipedia page for that belt? It's fucking hilarious.
No,
I'll believe it. Like hell, nobody can be a Grand Slam champion anymore. The European title's gone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, all right, let's stop talking about that god awful title. I can't believe we talked about that fucking.
I guess.
Let's talk about some other matches on this fucking card. The Miz versus Logan Paul. Anybody interested in this match? You guys, I want to see what Logan Paul does.
Why don't they make Miz a face? Why are they trying to force Logan Paul down my throat as a face? What the fuck?
I don't like that. I want the roles.
You know what? And the Tommaso Ciampa thing about it.
I was like, just on that very point, true. Jake, that's my only interest in the match because I feel like the audience is going to troll the fuck out of this match. They're going to cheer the shit out of Miz and boo the hell out of Logan Paul. That's my only interest in this match. It's just to see how over Miz can get by beating the shit out of Logan Paul.
I think that's what.
Yeah, and maybe that'll be a sign of Triple H because I think Vince McMahon would reject that. Like he's not going to play into the crowd like that. Vince fucking hated doing that shit. Triple H might be smart enough to go with the momentum that happens. If the momentum shift truly does happen, that great. And I think you're right. I think it very well could. I think Triple H may have the brains to continue on with that.
Yep.
Oh my God. I don't know what contracts have been signed though. Maybe Logan Paul signed a no heel contract before Triple H had any say whatsoever. And now he's locked into a 1.5 year no heel Logan Paul contract. And his hands are tied.
Just forcing it down our fucking throats. Oh my God.
I have to be a good guy. Oh Jesus Christ. How the hell are we going to make this work?
Yeah.
Oh boy. It's so bad. He got a lot of heat yesterday, for his views on the movie Nope. Logan Paul, did you see any of that?
No, what'd he say?
Well, do yourself a favor. When you get a chance, look up Logan Paul on Twitter and read his Nope rant. I'm not going to talk about any of it here, but
okay.
It's worth reading. And he absolutely hated it and lists like 11 reasons why.
Oh, well, he's
It got a ton of traction, though. It was very funny.
Yeah, so
some real face heat.
I miss when I didn't know my wrestlers' opinions on anything.
On film,
I didn't know anything about them as real people at all. You know, I think I wish kayfabe was a
graveyard.
little
That's where
alive.
he worked. You know, the Ultimate Warrior went back to parts unknown. That's where he stayed until it was time to wrestle again.
I don't want to find out what the Ultimate Warrior's views are on anything because they were pretty awful. You know.
Oh God.
Like the same with the Undertaker. Like I wish he was just the Undertaker. I wish I didn't know anything about Mark Calloway, or I wish I didn't know anything about Glenn Jacobs.
The one that hurts me is I wish I didn't know anything about Chris Jericho.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, really?
Like I wish these guys are just characters anymore. But now this TikTok world we live in, we got to hear about Logan Paul's views on anything. A movie, anything, whatever. I don't care. I don't want to know.
Yeah, just sign fucking Pootie Pie or whatever so we can have Logan Paul versus Pootie Pie and get this shit over with.
That's true. Very true. That's some money right there.
That's right.
Some SummersLam match right there. So, you guys want to see Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch again? Was this third time?
I'm here for it. I'm not going to complain about this.
It's going to be good.
Yeah,
But
it's going to be a good match. I'm curious to see how they can differentiate themselves from their previous matches. I want to see if they can.
Well, hopefully it'll be longer than 18 seconds.
Oh yeah, I think that's guaranteed. Yeah, that's my curiosity. I want to see if they can elevate themselves and differentiate themselves in the same way that we saw from Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes in their trilogy from earlier this year.
I think they can.
Because they had a phenomenal match at WrestleMania. They arguably had the match of the night for night one.
Right.
So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this one and seeing how they're going to step it up.
Man, Triple H would really ingratiate himself with the fans if he reran SummerSlam back, huh? With the Becky Lynch Bianca thing. Oh my gosh. That's impossible. That can't happen. Yeah, I agree. This has potential to be match of the night. I think one thing that's going to be a big change is just Becky's like in-ring psychology and how her attitude has changed since the last time these two have fought. Like, she's so good at like just working the crowd and working her attitude and telling a story just in her body language and stuff that not that Bianca's not great either, but we haven't really seen like the versatility out of Bianca yet, where she's been like different evolutions of herself. Like, Becky's just so good at that. I think it'll come too. I'm not knocking her at all. We just haven't seen it yet, but we know Becky's a fucking master of it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I would say if the pressure's on anybody in this match, it's on Bianca Belair more than it's on Becky Lynch. It's really on her to step her game up, because in their WrestleMania match, what you saw from Becky Lynch was how well scouted she had Bianca Belair, in the sense that she had a counter for pretty much all of Bianca's offense. And that which allowed her to dominate a good portion of that match. So this time around, the question is, did Bianca learn from their first real encounter at WrestleMania? And does she now have counters for Becky Lynch? And does she now have a way to make it more difficult, to make herself an even more difficult opponent for Becky Lynch to try to beat than she was at WrestleMania? Or do we just get the typical rehash of, Becky Lynch dominating the match and then Bianca making the heroes come back at the end? I would love to see. Hopefully, we get some of that ring psychology in this match.
And that's a story you can tell via commentary, and let's hope that who'll be doing the commentary for that match? That'd be
Corey Graves?
Corey and them. Yeah. Corey Byron and them. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully those two are thinking about that as they're plotting out this match.
Right.
No, that's an excellent point. I totally agree with you. I think Bianca Belair goes over. I think she gets her revenge from last year. I just wonder what's next for either of them. I think hopefully this ends that feud. Somebody said something about maybe SummerSlam's kind of a chance to wipe some slates clean, and so I wonder what's next for these two ladies.
Bayley would be great for Bianca next.
And Charlotte's supposed to be coming back soon too, right?
I still think Bayley should go to SmackDown.
You think so? Her and Liv.
Yeah, I think SmackDown needs Bayley on their roster more than Raw does.
Yeah. I mean, she called out Liv last month.
Yeah, but I mean, if anything, what would be next for Bianca Belair, if they're following the storylines that they've kind of laid out, it would seem to be Alexa Bliss would be her next opponent, and then Becky Lynch. She can have a program with anybody, and it'll work.
Now, what if WWE decides to give us a good old punch in the balls and just let Bianca pin Becky the same amount of time that she got pinned last year? Squash her.
That would be a shock, and I think the audience would be disappointed.
That's not a bad idea, though. I kind of like it. It would further Becky's character a bit, like what that would do to her mental health.
Yeah, her psyche, right? Because she's already lost many times, right?
Yeah. I kind of like it. Now that I sit and stew on that, I love that idea. I mean, it's definitely like, wow, we could have had this great match and they booked this thing again. But it's like, it is a match we have seen. We have seen it very recently. I don't hate this idea.
Yeah, it's a hell of a curveball. I only dislike it just from the standpoint of me not getting a good match out of them that I want to see. But from a storyline standpoint, yeah, it'd be a hell of a curveball that would definitely throw the crowd for a loop.
And then you'll have like an extra 20 minutes for 24/7 shenanigans.
Dana Brooke comes out.
Yeah. Suck it, Bruce Pritchard. We got ideas. Take them. Good fucking ideas. Jeez, we're writing it for you. Oh.
Well, you may have a point. I don't have a lot of title changes here. That might be a place to change a title.
Well,
okay.
I just don't feel it. I feel like Bianca's gonna go out. Go ahead, Jake.
I don't understand. You think Becky's going to win and change the title?
No. I think Bianca wins. I'm just saying. I'm looking at this card and I'm not seeing a lot of title changes. So I'm thinking there's going to be at least one, right? I'm thinking what might logically make sense. That might make sense, but
I mean,
I still think Bianca.
We'll kind of slide into this next match here. Liv versus Ronda. I mean, let's talk about that. Liv was on a losing streak a little bit before she won that briefcase. And she kind of got it on the sly. I mean, right at the end of the match. I mean, like, can Liv really stack up against Ronda Rousey?
Yep.
Well, that's the story of the match. Right?
I mean, like, I know that is, but I mean, like,
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, sorry, I just had a car go by my house. I'm just saying, like, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying Liv.
Is that a
beating
drive-by?
Ronda.
Shit, it almost sound like somebody bust off some shots.
Yeah,
It's his ex-girlfriend. That's what it was.
it is. Yeah, somebody's Integros. They've been passing my house the past like couple hours. I think they're doing runs up and down the street. Their shit's still slow. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Back to the match. I get what you're saying from a storyline standpoint. Yes, is she big enough to legitimately and believably go over somebody like Ronda Rousey?
Right.
I get that aspect, and which I say, yes, I think she is, because she is over as fuck right now and has been, as evidenced by that by the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and how much the crowd popped for her, and how she hit possibly the fastest 40 sprint that I've ever seen to the ring to cash in that damn briefcase. I swear she ran a 4.2 to cash that thing in, and the crowd ate it all up. And when she got that win, that pop solidified. Yeah, she's over. So how long she remains champion remains to be seen, but she damn sure ain't about to drop it at SummerSlam to Ronda.
No, and I see it. I could see Ronda turning heel too. She made such a big deal about shake my hand, whatever. I could see.
Definitely be.
I could see Liv winning and sticking her hand out, and Ronda chokes her out or whatever. You know,
fucking people aren't on board with her being there anyway. I mean,
yeah, she's almost like the female Logan Paul in that way, where they're trying to make her a face, and it would
fans
just be so much better.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Forcing it down our
I don't know.
throats.
I feel like Ronda could easily win this. I feel like she's there for a reason. It's not to elevate other people so much. I don't know. Yeah, the show has really, like, they haven't done the best job of painting her like she could beat Ronda, in my opinion.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Time
Yeah,
to go
but I think that's part of the narrative that I think they're going for. I think they're trying to paint Liv Morgan as the perpetual overdog. The perpetual underdog.
Yeah, Ronda's the overdog.
Yeah, I mean,
they're trying to paint Liv as the perpetual underdog who has to overcome and prove herself
beating her
over and over again as being legit.
SummerSlam
And I think this match is going to be part of that.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they would book it that way then with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, to me, that's always silly. If the plan is at the end of the day, at the end of the program, you're going to beat that person clean in the match, then why have them win in such a way that you question whether or not they deserved it? Like, as much as I love Big E being the champion, it kind of had that stink on his championship too. Like, I'm not saying that you're wrong and that she could win, but I hate when they book like that. If the plan was for her to win, then let her just fucking win.
It would have been one thing if she feuded with somebody else for a while and then went right back to Rousey and then lost it to Rousey again.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, what the hell's the point of cashing in like that and then dropping the title immediately? There's no point.
It looks bad either way to me. No matter who wins, it's like it's just not very clean. I think it might be time to retire the Money in the Bank briefcases.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't. It doesn't carry the same impact. I mean, it's good for a pop, like I said, here and there, depending on who does it. As you can see, like you said, the last two cash-ins have gotten huge pops. Big E's cash-in earlier this year got a huge pop, and Liv's cash-in at Money in the Bank got a huge pop. But outside of that, it really doesn't do much. And hell, with what they did to Theory this past Monday, I swear they buried the living shit out of his ass.
It'd be nice if we could reimagine it somehow.
I like that too.
I don't, off the top of my head, have a suggestion, but maybe it's not it's not a ladder match for a briefcase. It's something else. Maybe it's some kind of tournament or something. I don't know.
I got an idea.
I like the basic idea. But
maybe let's say you have to actually book a match. I think that would make all the difference in the world. The Money in the Bank can stay exactly the same as it was, but there's no more cashing it in on the elevator or whenever the fuck you feel like it. You have to book a match.
Right.
You have to give the wrestler a week notice.
Kind of like what Big E did when he said he was cashing in.
Yeah, but that was
but that's what the heroic face does,
Yeah, he did it on Twitter like that day.
Yeah. So kind of still fairly short notice, but yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you have to declare when you're going to cash it in advance. Like say, I'm cashing mine in, or not necessarily cash in, but like your cash in is saying, I want my title match at this date, whether it's on the next Raw or SmackDown or at this pay-per-view, I want my title match. Like you can choose when you want to have your title match, but it does have to be declared in advance. That could be an interesting twist.
I just don't think there's anything to gain from someone beating someone that's already been through a grueling match. I just don't think that makes a champion that anyone respects, no matter who that person is.
Yeah.
I always, with Big E, as much as I loved him, as much as I loved him being the champ, even though he announced it on Twitter that morning, you still didn't know if he was just fucking around or not. Everyone is always like threatens to use it. I still think it was no advance warning, and he came out and took advantage. Like it just, I don't see the purpose of these run-in win the belt champions that don't ever truly get respected as any kind of a champion that you can believe in or give a shit about.
If Liv beats Ronda clean, it will be believable.
But then that goes back to what was the point of doing the dumb shit in the first place?
Yep, I agree with that.
Right. Yeah, and compare like the spontaneous cash in at the end of the match to say wrestler A is slated to fight wrestler B at Survivor Series. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes the Money in the Bank guy and says, add me to that match. I'm in. And all of a sudden, what you thought was going to be a one-on-one match suddenly becomes a triple threat match because Mr. Money in the Bank has decided to cash in for that pay-per-view.
Yeah, but Seth Rollins did it so fucking well at WrestleMania.
Yeah, like I said, that's all it's pretty much good for. It's good for a cheap, momentary pop. Mm-hmm. But in the long term, it doesn't amount to as much.
Yeah, once that washes off, then it's just all the negative.
Yeah, well, I think you can get more. You can do more storytelling if you force that person to declare their challenge to the title in advance.
Well, they used to, seems like they used to put it up for grabs sometime. Like so-and-so is facing so-and-so with the briefcase on the line. The winner of the what if you can still cash it in whenever, but and the next time you lose a match, you lose the briefcase. The briefcase is like a belt. So if at any time the winner of the Money in the Bank match loses, he also loses the briefcase. So if your plan is to hold on to it and hold on to it and hold on to it, you're still going to keep winning matches.
Yeah, that makes it interesting for the duration that the person holds the belt until but it still doesn't fix the cash-in problem.
Yeah, I'm with Dre. The problem is the cash-in, not the actual briefcase itself. The cash-in is flawed. It's not elevating anyone, in my opinion.
Womp womp.
Like I said, it works for a good pop because, like I said, I'll admit I marked out like a mug when Liv Morgan cashed in at Money in the Bank.
Me too.
Like that was her night, and I think moving forward that will always, Money in the Bank 2022 will always be remembered as Liv Morgan's night from having won it and then cashed in later on that night. But yeah, again after that, they still have to do the work of establishing her as a legitimate champion because of the circumstances under which she won the title. And maybe for a person like Liv Morgan, it can work because she is seen as the perpetual underdog. But that you can't necessarily play that formula for every person who cashes in that Money in the Bank briefcase.
Well, you're not gonna. I mean, there's you get the sleazy heels that get it, and
yeah, like a Seth Rollins who does the sleazy cash in type thing and gets the pop. Yeah.
So different people handle the briefcase differently depending on what their story requires. I don't know. I'm not as tired of it as you guys seem.
Do you guys remember Otis used to have the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Vince took it from
I do.
Poor Otis.
Oh my God.
I liked that Money in the Bank that they did as a pre-tape. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm. They made the best of that.
COVID.
Yeah, the one on top of WWE headquarters. I thought that was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan broke into Vince's office. And you
Yeah.
say, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, it was kind of funny. There was a lot of funny moments. They made the best of what they had too. It was a shit sandwich. You know we didn't know how they were going to do these pay-per-views, and that was before what the Thunderdome. So
It was.
yeah,
It was pre-Thunderdome, yes.
Yeah, pre-Thunderdome. So I was fucking entertained. I remember my friends were over. We were pretty entertained with it because it was something different. And even though it was so silly, it's just like take the fucking elevator all the way to the top. You don't have to be stopping off in all these rooms and all this shenanigans, but it made it fun. So actually, I might even go back and watch that again just for shits and giggles. But yeah, Otis won. So moving on here, this is one I do want to talk about. The Usos are going to be putting the Undisputed Tag Team titles on the line against the Street Profits. Do we think this is where... I forgot to mention. And Jeff Jarrett is the special guest referee. Because they're in Nashville. Do you guys think this is where the Street Profits go over and finally get those titles?
I would hope so.
Yes.
I absolutely hope so. And if I was a betting man, I'd put money on, I'd put money on the Street Profits.
Mm-hmm.
What's Jarrett's role in this? He's not there to just be an impartial referee.
I think so.
Seems unlikely.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could see him picking a side one way or the other or hitting somebody with the slap nuts, because honestly, I don't know if he's going to be in the WWE long term or just a one night deal that they.
I do know he's an
he's a producer, isn't he?
Yeah, he runs he books like the venues.
Oh, does he? I didn't know he was part of WWE. Honestly, I thought they signed him on just this.
No, he was fired, then he came back, then he was fired again, and now he's on in corporate now.
My money's on the Usos, and Jarrett cheats to help them win.
I could definitely
he joins the bloodline.
That sucks, but I could see that happening too. That really sucks.
So do you see him becoming an on-air talent moving forward after this?
No, not at all. Not at all. He'll maybe do one interview afterwards to say why.
Yeah, because see, that's my thing. I don't see how he interferes in the match if he's not going to be an on-air talent moving forward and have to somehow be accountable for what he did in some way.
It's just one more way that the bloodline slides by and keeps the titles in a laundry list of. It's not been 100% clean victories.
Right, I hear you.
Yeah, I think you can have both. I don't think you need more Jarrett than just, here's why I did it, and then that's all she wrote.
But somebody mentioned that it's in Nashville, and isn't he kind of a hometown favorite in Nashville?
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason he's there to sell tickets.
Yeah, would they have him do a heel thing in the hometown if he's the favorite?
I feel like he loves that shit. That's Jarrett.
Yeah, Jarrett as a character. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it from as far as playing towards the audience. Would they?
That's what makes it. That's what makes it. Everyone drop their jaw, though.
I mean, hell, he's going against Ric Flair in his last match. I mean, he can't be that concerned with.
He's not the face in that match.
What's that?
He's not the face in that match. Ric Flair
exactly.
That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's in Nashville as well. Yeah. And if he just helped the heels win, then he's going to get booed even more the next night than he would have already, which is what they want at the end of the day anyway.
You have a point there.
And they get the Street Profits are playing the are we breaking up, are we not breaking up gimmick.
Yeah, I don't like those rumors. I mean, because
I definitely don't like those rumors. I don't think it's time yet. And I haven't, and that,
break them up.
To me, that's all it is rumors.
I like Montez Ford, but they need to be together.
Yeah, to me, all it is, though, is rumors, because we haven't seen anything on television of any type of dissent between the two, outside of that one question that Caleb Braxton asked in one episode of SmackDown, which got shut down pretty quick, but we haven't seen any further development of it from then, unless they want to try to start that now at SummerSlam, which I don't know if that's it, if this is the time to do it. I still think
SummerSlam Saturday night?
Yeah, Saturday.
Damn it.
I think they are too over as a tag team to try to break up right now. I think they're primed to finally get over and become champions. And
I think so too.
This is, for me personally, this is my most anticipated match of the night because the match that they had at Money in the Bank was a classic.
Oh, they've got great chemistry.
That was a absolute class. That is a match of the year candidate, in my opinion.
No doubt.
That match they had. I'm looking forward to seeing if they can top what they did at Money in the Bank.
Oh, I totally agree. They definitely. I mean, they've faced each other quite a lot over the last couple months, anyway. So, and you know, when you get four guys that talented together that often, great things tend to happen. They know how to put on a great match with each other at this point.
Yeah, they have great chemistry in the ring together.
Yeah,
and they look like they're having fun doing this feud too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I absolutely expect a great match, and I think it's time for the Street Profits to take the title, and maybe the Bloodline gets a little blood for a change.
Start to crumble, man. That's where the foundation is, right there. The tag titles, and those go.
Yeah, I think this is the first crack in the armor we see of the Bloodline.
Exactly.
I guess so. You got to break them down.
Yeah, I know people have been trying to prime Montez Ford for a singles run, and sure, his day will come. It will come where he gets his singles push. Because I look at Montez Ford, and he gives me Shawn Michaels vibes. I think he has.
I was going to ask, does Dawkins give you Marty Jannetty vibes, or does he give you Matt Hardy vibes?
I would say more Matt Hardy vibes. I'm not going to disrespect him and say he gives me Marty Jannetty vibes. No, I ain't going to disrespect Angelo Dawkins like that. I think he has potential. I think he has the potential. He has performance in the ring. He can go in the ring and he can absolutely go. What he does not have that Montez Ford has is the character. I think he doesn't quite have that. He doesn't quite have the same character and charisma like Montez Ford has. I think that's the only thing that could potentially hurt him.
If they ever film a segment where they're in a barber shop, look out. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. But Montez Ford, like I said, it may be just me, but he gives me Shawn Michaels vibes in terms of his potential. I think he has that kind of potential as a singles competitor.
I agree. I think he'll be the better of the two. I'm just wondering if you think the two, in this case Dawkins, will be more Christian or Matt Hardy, and I guess you answered. You think they'll be more Christian or Matt Hardy?
I would hope
he'll also be successful. Yeah, I hope so too.
I would hope he would be more like a Dean Ambrose or Seth, where he breaks up and then he can find his own character and become a star in his own right. I hope it doesn't end up being a case where one tag team guy rises to the top and the other tag team guy just falls off and either stays in the perpetual totally mid-card or disappears.
Right. Like I hope he finds their guy.
Because for years you can run, you can feud them, you can get them back together. You can feud them, you can get, you can milk that for decades.
Yeah, you can milk that, but it really only works if the two establish themselves individually.
Sure.
That's why I said, like I said, that's why I think.
Yeah, that's why I'm rooting for him.
I want him to find his own character somehow, even if he has to completely change from what they are as the Street Cop Profits. If he has to go complete 180 in some other direction.
I totally agree with you. I hope he does, actually. I mean, I hope the Street Profits go for a little while longer anyway. But
don't break them up yet, though. I think this is their time to have a good, strong, win the titles and have a good, strong run through the year into WrestleMania next year.
That'd be great. I totally agree.
Break them up.
He
can blame Dawkins for why they never won the titles and go complete fucking heel.
That's true. Oh, all right, so this next match, this one's pretty cut and clean. Bobby Lashley versus Theory, United States Championship. Right? Bobby Lashley walks out champion?
Nope.
I think it'll be Theory.
Nope. I think Theory wins the title back.
How? Explain.
Because I think they need something to. I believe he's going to fail. I think he might try to cash in his Money in the Bank, and he's going to fail. And I don't think they're going to serve him 2 L's in one night unless they truly are committed to just burying the living shit out of him because Vince McMahon's no longer there. But I don't think they're quite going to do that yet.
No, I don't think they're going to do that because Triple H was high on him in NXT.
Right. I think he still has some value, and I think they still see him as a potential star. I just don't think they're going to skyrocket him to the top at as rapid a pace that Vince was doing. So I think the way they do that...
They might slow his push and do that as a storyline thing.
Right. And I think part of slowing his push is putting him back as the United States champion and having him fail at the Money in the Bank cash-in, and then he just moves forward as the United States champion and whatever. And then they just have to figure out what to do with Bobby Lashley after having lost the title and find some way to still keep him as a strong top face, that's another issue in and of itself. But no, I think Theory actually wins the title back at SummerSlam.
I could see it. I could see Theory winning. I kind of lean towards that as well. Mm-hmm. Like, Bobby's kind of fine either way. I think you gotta. What I don't see is him losing the Money in the Bank cash in, at least on this pay per view. Maybe in the future, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of lean towards they're still going to mega push Austin Theory. I don't see them letting their foot up the gas whatsoever. Honestly, if I was booking this, I would have Triple H instantly take him under his wing and just continue the storyline.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea either.
That's an interesting idea.
Even after what they did to him Monday, you still think they gonna push him?
I do. That stuff's all written.
I do too.
That man got eviscerated.
What they did was pushing.
I mean, he's a chicken shit heel. Of course, he gets eviscerated from everybody.
He is a chicken shit heel.
Maybe that shit's
heel on TV right now.
Is getting a lot of TV time. You know what I mean?
That he is.
45 minutes on Monday.
That guy is on the mic. He was in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, like at WrestleMania, he's doing shit with Vince before he retired. Like,
yeah, but that was all Vince.
Right. But still, this guy's getting
it ain't changing that fast. I
know it isn't. It's still not changing that fast. But he's still.
Yeah, I agree.
Wayne said 45 minutes of TV time on Raw. I don't care what the storyline was. That's 45 minutes of TV time. I don't care what you're doing. If they show you on the toilet for 45 minutes, you're getting pushed.
Right. Again, I'm not saying that they're burying him. I don't think they're going to bury him. I just think that, and I think the way that they still keep him relevant and still keep him as like somebody who matters is by putting the United States title on him.
And he's going to win in a chicken shit heel way. It's not going to be a clean win against Bobby Lashley.
Right. I agree with that. I'm with that.
But how does he? Now we have to deduce if you think he's going to win the belt, which I agree that he probably will. What chicken shit way is he going to win that belt with?
That I do not know. He'll find some way of cheating. I don't know. I don't know if Omos and MVP somehow end up playing a role in this. I certainly hope not, because I don't want to see Bobby Lashley fall back into another feud with Omos. But they kind of are somewhat conspicuously off the pay-per-view for another tandem that was getting considerable television time. Unless something develops this Friday on SmackDown, but that's neither here nor there.
Maybe Almost is finally getting trained.
Right, but I don't know. I think
maybe he'll stop sucking.
I don't know. maybe he gets some shot in with the briefcase while the referee's back turn or something. I don't know that they're going to do something spectacular in a heel way. I think they'll just draw from the deck of heel move cards, and whichever one comes up, that's how he's going to win. But I do agree that he will do something heelish to win. I just don't know what the specific thing would be.
Yeah, and I wholeheartedly believe that the Austin Theory mega push will continue, if not the same, stronger.
Yeah, see, that's where we disagree. I think they tone it down and dial it back a bit.
I like it. Controversy.
Like I said, I think they still keep him relevant. But I don't think they skyrocket him to the top at the same pace that he's been on. And I think
Dre's trying to give this guy the 24/7 championship belt already. Vince is gone. They're like, slap the 24 on him.
I'm not burying him that bad. But am I alone in thinking that like what happened on him Monday kind of felt different? Like that little daddy's home thing and the way he kind of looked in the ring, that shit to me that kind of had a different sting to it. And the audience isn't going to let that stuff go.
A little, but like this guy, just said, he was on TV and he was in the ring with the Bloodline. Like, if anybody to be on TV with, How about the champion who doesn't come to Raw and SmackDown every week? I mean, like, yeah, I don't know.
And the champion who put him in his place real fucking quick.
Yeah.
And had Theory looking real small compared to him.
I know.
Like after Roman Reigns hit that line, Theory did not look like he belonged in that ring with Roman Reigns anymore. The second he said that line.
You know, as much as we bag on the writers, though, I think they made the best out of a bad situation with Theory's storyline. Like that, what happened was completely reactive to Vince leaving. Like they knew they had to address the elephant in the room.
That's very true.
And that's all they did. I think I don't think it means the end of Theory's mega push by any means whatsoever. And I thought those were great lines, and they were stinging lines, and the reactions were great, and the crowd's reactions were great. But I still think it was all just the writers made the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah, I agree. They absolutely did. That whoever wrote that segment, they had the golden pen right there. I just think that stuff might have hit a little bit harder than they thought it was going to hit. Like, oh shit!
And the storyline is never going to be Roman in Theory, like nose to nose, like on a WrestleMania poster. Like that's not the angle they've ever been pining for.
I think it's just one thing. It's like it's like where you punch a guy and you think, yeah, I'm just going to punch him right quick, and you think you just going to hit him, but it turns out you accidentally broke his jaw. Like, oh shit, I hit you a little harder than I meant to. Sorry about that. I think that's kind of what happened on Raw. It's like, ooh. Damn, we wrote some good shit, but that shit hurt our dude a little bit more than we meant for it to hurt him.
No, that's a good thing though. That's the part we're not. That's the part I guess we're not communicating on. Is like he is that character. Like that's how they want the crowd to react to him.
Half full?
It's a work.
They want him to think they want you to think he's worthless and beneath all the rest of the people. That's his entire gimmick right now.
I do see the way you're looking at it, Jake. I mean, that is
still real to me, damn it.
I could buy it. Yeah, I could buy it. I could buy it, but yeah, because you're right, Trey. He did look very fucking small in that ring. Because like, where does his character go from here? Is he going backwards where he, like you guys say, he might cash it in and lose it and then get the United States title back somehow? Because he's not going to lose twice in one night. But then again, like we were talking about with the briefcase, and what the fuck was the point of him winning it then? If he's just, going all the way up to the big dog to look like a puppy, and now he's going back down to get his United States title again, that's where he's going to stay. Say what now?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is someone coming in?
Oh no!
So
What was that?
In the ring, surprise entrance.
No.
Phone call.
Oh,
I thought we had a run in. I was looking behind my back.
Creative was back there leaning on the keyboard.
What's Paul Hart's music doing in the
Paul Hart on my
CW zone?
I don't know. I also oh my gosh, I will right here on the podcast bet $20 that Theory will successfully cash in his Money in the Bank to whoever wants to take it.
At some point in the next year.
Yeah, whenever the bet is when he cashes it in, he will win. And if you think he won't, then I got $20 on it.
I don't think he will.
I'll
take that bet. I'll take
it with everyone individually.
Dude.
I'll take that bet.
That's how you make money, Jake.
It's for posterity.
Witness.
Yeah, I'll
right,
take
so
that.
I got
he catches in and wins. That's $20 cash app your way.
All right,
Yeah,
and Wayne,
true.
you're in on this too?
I'm in on this too, man.
Any other takers?
No, sir.
No way.
Wait,
we got one smart one.
What side are you on, Wayne? You're on the side that he fails?
Yeah, dude, he's gonna fail. Like, I'm just not buying. Dude, John Cena failed. John Cena. I did not.
Did John Cena need it at the time, though?
Fuck no, but still, John Cena failed. We're looking at statistics.
Didn't John Cena failed at an ECW one night stand, right?
Was it an ECW one night stand? I thought he defended the title at the ECW when he did it. Isn't that when he dropped when he lost to RVD?
The ECW was when
If Cena
RVD
wins, we
cashed in.
riot.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not wavering. The John Cena thing does nothing for me. At that point, he was invincible. It wasn't like he failed in the first year of his career.
John Cena became the first WWE superstar to unsuccessfully cash in the Money in the Bank contract.
I was going to say, what's the percentage? It's going to be like 85.
Money in the Bank contract winner was Damien Sandow.
I'm about to say they've been talking about it
Against John Cena.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to say they've been talking about it recently. I think every woman who's cashed in has won, and I think damn near every guy who's cashed in has won except for like one or two.
Baron Corbin, John Cena, who else? Mr. Kennedy.
Oh yeah.
Bale?
He lost it to Edge. He lost the briefcase
correct.
to Edge.
He didn't even get a chance to cash it in, so I'm going to count that.
Too injury prone.
Valid.
Let go. Or he failed a drug test. One of the two.
No, we talked about this episode. There was something else going on behind the scenes. I don't remember what the hell it was. I looked it up.
Maybe like
He got in trouble for some other. No, it was the it was another steroid scandal.
He came right back though, because that's right where I'm watching, and he lost the belt and then was like right back within like a month and a half.
Yeah, because it was going into like a SummerSlam, I think, when they had him slated to cash in, and then some steroid scandal hit that he got caught up in, and that's why that's what killed his push. He was back on television after some time. I think him
legitimate son.
Yeah, that was the storyline that got killed because I think it was him and a bunch of other stars that got suspended all around that same time because of that steroid scandal that hit. And when he came back after they served the suspension, but his push was pretty much dead. And I don't think
what's up with Wayne? Is Wayne betting me $20 too?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, all right. I'm trying to rack up, man.
I paid Sasha Banks $90 to meet her on next Saturday.
So you dip it into a Sasha Banks stash.
I heard
you can hit me up if anyone listening to this podcast wants to take this bet. I'll take the first 10 fucking people. Hit me up.
Don't want to get over your head.
Put down the gauntlet.
I'll put $240 in my pocket. Hit me up, listeners.
Look down the gauntlet.
Oh man, you're either gonna be like really pissed off, or you're gonna be jumping around your fucking room. I told you.
It's gonna be the jumping around my room part.
Yeah.
Playing the Shane McMahon theme. Here comes the money.
Here we go. Doing the little shuffle.
So that's right. We're going to be the first podcast that you can legit bet with the host on.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Hit me up.
First wrestling podcast to endorse legalized gambling.
That can't possibly be true.
Yeah, our next guest will be Pete Rose.
WWE Hall of Famer Pete Rose.
Yeah, right.
Right, like let me get in on some of this action.
What? There's betting on this wrestling podcast?
So, you guys excited at all for this Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin?
No, unless Corbin's going to bury Pat McAfee, which I don't think is going to happen. So I'm already mad.
I think Pat McAfee's going to win this.
Oh, I know.
McAfee already lost his match at WrestleMania. He's not going to lose a match at SummerSlam too.
Yeah. Oh, boo. Pat McAfee will probably fucking kick out of it in days.
Oh,
One person's ever done that.
already.
Right?
Yeah, I could see it. It's already. I mean, they've already broken the seal. Who cares at this point?
We care. We'll never forget that one time.
Madcap Moss, you bitch.
Son of a bitch.
I agree with Wayne.
Out of all people, Madcap Moss. Not John Cena. Not anybody else.
Fuck that guy. I hope Triple H locks him in a closet.
Madcap Moss. Hey, I think he got his full name back. I think he was just going by Madcap. Now he's going by Madcap Moss again.
Oh, it's back.
Yeah, right there's your Triple H influence right there.
Oh my God, Triple H is back. Everything's different.
It's happening.
Yeah,
We're getting
can
last
Austin
names
Theory
back.
go back to? Can Austin Theory go back to being Austin Theory? Is that a theory? Theory's terrible.
Yeah. We might see that. Are we gonna see Big E Langston when he returns?
I hope so.
No, he could just stay Big E.
Yeah, Langston's pretty cumbersome. They got that one right.
Yeah. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. I really want some of the names changed. Let's get rid of Gunther. Let's put him back to Walter.
Just don't touch Dewdrop.
Okay, speaking of why isn't
Gunther? To me, Gunther works just because I didn't know him as his other persona.
Okay. What were you going to say, Dua?
Is there a reason the Intercontinental title is not being defended at SummerSlam?
I'm not sure.
Isn't it being defended on Friday on SmackDown?
So what? It's SummerSlam. It's supposed to be the second biggest show of the year, right?
Yeah, was it just that?
You want to know why? Because Vince. This is one of those. This is a remnant of Vince McMahon and his disregard for those mid-card titles. And hopefully, under the new McMahon-Helmsley regime, we will see those mid-card titles restored to some level of performance. That could be first things that place you can do to have an immediate impact. Is put some legitimacy back on the IC title.
Gunther Walter
and the US title
is great. He's one of the best guys they have going right now. And it's like, why the hell isn't he even on the card at SummerSlam? They got a fucking Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
You know?
Again,
unless they throw something in last minute on this Friday SmackDown, which is possible.
Cards
I mean, maybe they have a slot to fill now if we're not going to do Rollins Riddle.
Yeah, but it would be tough though because they really wouldn't have any build up for it. So, I mean, it would kind of be they could do it, but it would also kind of be a dead spot on the card because it'd be a match with build up. So,
like, why isn't there an Intercontinental title feud going into SummerSlam? You know, like
because Vince McMahon.
Oh,
there's still time to save it. He could still be a great champion.
That's one of those post SummerSlam things that we should look for, that we need to kind of keep our eye on in terms of Triple H's new creative direction. Actually, that's one of the things I will be keeping an eye on. What does he do with the mid card? Mm-hmm. What does he do with the U.S. title? What does he do with the IC title?
Yeah.
What does he do with the mid carders in the women's division?
Do they bring back the tag team titles for the women?
I hope not. I would like I said earlier. I would much rather see mid card women's titles than the tag titles.
Right.
Can we break real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me find the. I have like a little breaker button here. So.
Daddy's not here anymore. This is my ring. And you heard him. Daddy's gone. I'll tell you who his daddy is, because if he keeps messing up, the tribal chief is going to be his daddy.
And welcome back to the show. Jake had to leave because he got jumped backstage. Oh, man, he got jumped, and he is out. He's on the injured roster until next podcast episode. So we are going to have to finish this, just the four of us. It is now a fatal four-way. No Jake. But we can do this. We only got one match left, guys, I want to talk about here.
Jake, I swear I'll find out who took you out. I'll make him suffer.
It was me all along. But yes, let's get on with this very last match here. Main event, Roman Reigns, the undisputed WWE Heavyweight Champion with Paul Heyman versus Brock Lesnar in a last man standing match. Now, we speculated earlier that Street Profits could walk out with the titles. That would be the crack of the foundation of the bloodline. Is this also where we see Brock Lesnar take those titles back? Or do you guys see Roman Reigns going 700 plus days as champion? Dre, what you got?
I absolutely believe Roman Reigns is going to retain the titles. Even with Brock Lesnar getting as huge pops as he is, I don't see them switching the title back to Brock Lesnar again. It doesn't do anything. There's no purpose for it. Yeah, Roman's part-time, but so is Brock Lesnar. So, and if they're going to try to take the title off of somebody and put it on a more full-time person, I could see them. I think from a storyline standpoint, it serves better to do it with Roman Reigns. With somebody eventually getting over on Roman Reigns versus putting the title back on Brock Lesnar again, and then somebody trying to defeat Brock Lesnar to finally become the champion. Because I do think at some point, I think part of Triple H's influence is I think he's going to want to see the title back on somebody who's a full-time competitor at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen or how soon that's going to happen, but I do think Triple H is going to want to move in that direction. And I think it works better to do that with, like I said, with Roman Reigns as the champion and somebody eventually taking out Roman Reigns and putting it in maybe to the bloodline once and for all. So I do think Roman Reigns retains the title. To me, the more interesting question in this match is who's going to bleed.
Mm-hmm.
Does one of them bleed or both of them bleed?
We're going to get blood from Brock, I think.
Yeah, Brock always bleeds.
Yeah.
Do you bleed?
I think both of them bleed.
Okay. Andrew, what do you think? Who's walking out of SummerSlam champion?
Austin Theory.
What? That is a crazy fucking theory, but it could fucking happen. Are they trying to play off of the what Seth Rollins did, where we don't want either of them to be a fucking winner, and somebody else cashes in, but it's definitely not gonna have the same feeling as it did when Seth Rollins did it. Like,
that won't quite be the same storyline.
If so, is that for both titles? One title? Like,
I think Lashley beats him. I could even see him intentionally disqualifying himself because he's saving himself because he's already said he's going to cash.
Oh no! I mean, like, if he cashes that briefcase in, is that for one title or two? Like, they never.
It's got to be. It's got to be two because they keep saying for the undisputed Universal Championship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the very fact that they say undisputed implies that both titles are on the line.
They just need to merge these titles, make one title, and just get it over with.
Well, no, I think. Well, okay, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
This is only Reigns' second defense since he won the title in October. So I think he wins. They're both exhausted or whatever. I think Austin Theory cashes in, wins both titles, and then I think Reigns somehow gets one of them back. And I think that's maybe what he carries to the match with The Rock. They got to split these titles up, is what I'm gonna say. Because you were saying, is it for both of the titles? I think yes, it is. But at some point, they're gonna need to split them up again. And I think that might be the way to do it. By having Austin Theory win both of them and then having Reigns somehow getting one of them back. And that's how they get split up.
Well, if he gets... That's an interesting theory. So if he gets... Pun intended. So if he gets one of them back, that would imply that he would probably get the Universal title back, given that Theory is a Raw talent. So he would retain the WWE title on Raw, and Roman Reigns would regain the Universal title and take that back with him back to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think he would carry that into WrestleMania next year against The Rock?
I think they're building towards Reigns and The Rock. I think that's what they want for WrestleMania next year.
Yeah, I'm with that. I just don't see that being a title match. I think that's just going to be a showcase dream match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would be any title. I don't think any title would be on the line for that one. But yeah, that would be some interesting storytelling if they actually did go that route of Theory winning the title and then immediately or shortly thereafter dropping one of them right back.
That's just my fantasy booking, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an interesting concept. Wayne, where you at?
Yeah, Wayne, what's up?
I think it'll be Roman. I think Roman's going to be holding the title until at least November.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I just... Because if Brock wins it, where does it go from there? Like, Brock's just going to hold it hostage just as much, you know? Like,
right. Yeah. And see, that's why I think Roman Reigns keeps the title, because putting the title on Brock doesn't do anything.
Right.
It's just another part-time guy holding the title until they decide somebody's worthy enough to beat Brock Lesnar. And the way the roster is currently constructed, there's very few people who are on that level. There's probably Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, maybe Seth Rollins, and that's it. And I don't think they would put the title on Brock Lesnar and keep it on Brock Lesnar all the way till WrestleMania next year for like a match with Cody Rhodes or anything like that.
Right.
Because as much as Cody Rhodes is being pushed, honestly, I don't think, as he stands now, I don't think he is quite a legitimate competitor for Brock Lesnar, at least not right now.
Oh, not for
I think
Brock
he would
Lesnar,
have to,
no. No.
Yeah, I think he would have to come back and stack a few more dubs before he's, to me, on a Lesnar level. So that isn't it. Whereas if you keep the title on Reigns, then especially if you keep the title on Roman and the Usos drop the title, then there's that bloodline storyline moving forward of the foundation starting to crumble. And then the ultimate climax of that would be somebody either between now and WrestleMania or at WrestleMania next year finally taking down Roman Reigns. Which, again, I think would happen before WrestleMania. I think it would probably maybe happen, if not before the end of this year, maybe at Royal Rumble next year or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's obviously Royal Rumble. He drops the titles and starts a program with The Rock.
Right, and then starts a program with The Rock going into WrestleMania. To me, that's the more interesting thing is who is moving forward is not so much this match, because, again, this is just a rehash of the same thing we've seen over and over again.
It's who's going
the more interesting thing to me moving forward is who's going to finally take down Roman Reigns. Because I think we all agree that the end is in sight.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Sure, but if we're going to get some kind of creative flourish or whatever, I mean, why not put the title on somebody completely different, you know?
They could go that route of just doing the whole random surprise, pulling the Mick Foley card and the random surprise win out of nowhere.
Yeah, that'll put butts in seats.
I don't know if it'll put butts in seats. It depends on who it was, but it would definitely generate buzz.
No, that's what Tony Schiavone said when they spoiled.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, when they announced it, when they read it on Nitro. Yeah, that'll put butts on seats. Is exactly what the hell it did, because everybody changed the channel. Yeah, honestly, that would be a cool thing, a way to do it. I don't think they would do that, and that's something I kind of miss in WWE is that surprise title change out of nowhere, especially at the top. Like, I would love to see just a random Riddle Reigns match and Riddle actually wins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think Riddle's time is going to come.
Yeah. But I mean, that surprise pop, like if I look at the whole roster right now, who could he get that surprise win that would absolutely blow the roof off an arena? To me, it's Riddle.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Because he could have a great match that would build up throughout the match, and at some point he can actually perform well enough to make people think, holy shit, Riddle might actually win this match. And once you get the audience in that moment, then they're on the roller coaster all the way. And then they're in it for the rest of the time. And then if he actually pulled it off, that'd be a hell of a moment.
See, it would depend on the audience, though. I mean, look, like Chicago, great wrestling town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's say Sami Zayn won the title randomly. Like, Chicago would go fucking crazy. Whereas if it happened in Albuquerque,
right?
You know, it might happen to crickets.
Yeah. There's some planning that goes into a surprise title win. I agree with you. You save it for one of your hot arenas, the ones that you know where the crowd is always live as hell. Like, this ain't some shit you pull in Saginaw, Michigan.
No offense to Albuquerque or Saginaw.
But yeah, like if you're in Chicago and you like, Roman, come on, drop these titles tonight.
So
MSG, you know,
news in the.
I mean, if Sammy did win it, they keep it in the bloodline technically.
Oh God, that's true. I wanted to bring this up. We did chit chat about it beforehand. That WrestleMania 40, Saturday, April 6th and 7th, will be in Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field. Close, like an hour from me. So I am 100% trying to go to that shit, and I would love to go with a group of people from the podcast. I think that'd be awesome. and because I live so close, we could totally party at my place. And I feel like it's 2024. It is a far ways from now. So much in wrestling could happen. So much. Who the fuck could be champion? What is the main event going to be in 2024? If you guys had to guess,
versus Charlotte Flair.
Who was that?
I said Britt Baker versus Charlotte Flair.
Yo,
Britt Baker jumping over.
Bad booking. That's not a bad booking. How about do you guys see MJF in WWE by then?
That could be. Well, remember, man, it's a 10-year. You know,
MJF versus Riddle for the WWE title.
Remember, WrestleMania 10, 20, 30, crazy shit happens. You know what I mean? Like WrestleMania 10 was Brett and Owen. 20 was what was that? Benoit and Guerrero both win. 30 was
Benoit won. Guerrero won at No Way Out before. But yeah, 20 was Benoit winning in the triple threat match with Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry.
It ended with Benoit and Guerrero celebrating in the ring. Yeah.
That's okay. That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's 40. Something crazy. Something fucking humongous is going to happen for 4. You know what I mean? Like
potentially.
So yeah.
And they may really want to play up, especially with the Roman numerals of it being XL. They're going to want to try to play that up like a mug.
God damn it, pal. XL. Extra large.
He's not a factor anymore.
Yeah.
That's right.
You got to work on your Triple H impression.
I am the game. I don't know. I'm going to be standing myself looking in the mirror, just working on my Triple H. Spitting water into the mirror. I can do that one. It's my Triple H impersonation. But
I will say, just on a side note, jumping back to our whole Triple H, just jumping back to our Triple H running creative moving forward.
Yeah,
I wonder if Paul Heyman is going to have a more of a voice in creative direction going forward as well.
Well, Paul Heyman. Well, I saw a picture online. Paul Heyman was at the WWE tryouts in Nashville today, sitting next to Triple H.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, obviously, it's a lot for Triple H to do as head of creative. So he's going to
be foolish not to have him involved.
Right, exactly. He would be foolish not to recruit, not to bring in Paul Heyman as a voice to work alongside him in creative.
I correct me if I'm wrong, but he up until now he has been just a TV talent, right? He's not doing.
Yeah, Vince fired him from creative.
Yeah, him and Vince butted heads a lot. So yeah, because Paul Heyman was doing creative work, like you said, for a while, but him and Vince butted heads for so much that it pretty much took Paul Heyman out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'd be foolish not to at least have him in the room, and I'm hoping kind of that's one of the things going forward. Every motherfucking thing had to go to Vince. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that there'll be less micromanaging and more, like whoever's idea it is. If it gets fleshed out and it's good, they use it. You know what I mean? Whether it's the fucking guy cleaning out an office that says, "Hey, what if so and so did such and such?" Oh, that's a great. You know what I mean? Or whoever it is. If it's Bruce Pritchard, if it's whoever. If it's Becky Lynch, if it's whoever.
Well, they seem to be off to a good start because supposedly that is what Triple H said to people I guess he had a meeting with talent and said that he plans on being more open and available and transparent with things. So yeah, hopefully he will start be open to taking ideas from multiple sources in terms of if a wrestler has a good idea for their character, try it out, roll with it. But yeah, but as far as like I said, that overall main direction, I really hope he does bring in Paul Heyman to help in terms of the overall guidance of things. And like I said, hear from other guys.
There's a lot of
that
people
next great idea could come from anybody.
I'm hoping Triple H helps sign a lot of people back. It'd be nice to see Killer Cross come back. It'd be nice to see a lot of people like Johnny Gargano.
Sure.
I mean, what really is unfortunate is a lot of the people I want back and a lot of people I'm assuming that we would definitely have seen stayed like we talked earlier, are all signed with other companies now, and they're locked in these contracts. They're locked in these contracts, and like
yeah, they won't always be.
What's that?
They won't always be.
Oh, yeah, I know, but like
it's just that we're probably a couple of years away from seeing any like significant moves from like top name people. So I think MJF is still under contract with AEW for a few years, right?
I don't know what's
I think
contract.
I thought he still had a few years left on his deal.
I thought it was next year. He was up.
He's been saying 2024, but I mean, who knows what's real and what's fake with that.
Right.
Obviously, WWE should be interested in him.
Yeah, I mean,
he hasn't been on TV. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, as far as like probably the biggest name free agents that are out there right now is probably Bray Wyatt, and theoretically, although I don't, still kind of unknown if they're free agents or still technically under contract, Sasha and Naomi. Those are probably like the three
contract.
There was a lot of NXT talent too that got released. That like Io Shirai is gonna be. Is her contract up? Like, what's up with her?
Because she's moving back to Japan.
You know what I mean? We're gonna be losing some people.
Yeah, I wonder if she's somebody that they could convince to stay, or if she's still committed to returning back home.
Right. What's Dakota Kai doing? Bring her back.
She hasn't done anything from what I've seen.
There's some wrestlers out there, man, that are just like not doing anything. Like I said, Killer Cross and Scarlett, bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring Candice LeRae back. Let's bring back Johnny Gargano.
Hell, let's bring back Rusev. I love
Joe. Let's bring him back, and dude, let's
wait, Rusev's in TNA, isn't he?
Match at that Ring of Honor.
He's in AEW.
Oh, he AEW, yes.
And Samoa Joe is too.
Yeah, and Keith Lee.
He just put on a fucking phenomenal match at that Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Fucking Vince had him standing in the rain in a poncho. And
they fired him the next day.
Nothing. Yeah. I mean stuff like that. That's stuff that we'll see play out over the next couple of years. As certain guys who were former WWE talent who've gone somewhere else as their contracts expire, will we see them stay with the companies that they are currently signed to, or do we see them migrate back to the WWE? And a lot of that's going to depend on what Triple H does as head of creative over these next couple of years. Because we can say that it looks promising now, but if it turns out that, maybe Triple H isn't as good as we all hoped he was at creative, and very little has changed or seemingly changed in the eyes of the talent over at WWE, then they'll be less inclined to want to come back to WWE. They'll just want to be like, the grass doesn't look like it's gotten any better since Vince left. I think I'll just stay over here where I'm at. Mm-hmm. Or maybe they look at WWE and say, holy shit, that place is completely turned around and it's so much better. That guy's got a title run that I never thought would get. What the hell, Shinsuke Nakamura's WWE champion? Holy shit, things have really changed. Like, who knows?
What I'm saying.
Yeah, it's on Triple H now. It's on Triple H's stuff now. Not just for the immediate future in terms of the day-to-day things, but also for the long term.
And this is their legacy now.
Yeah, it's their boat to run. It's their ship. They got to steer it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see how.
And then in 3 years, Vince comes back.
But like I said, I think when it comes to AEW wrestlers, I think the next biggest one is going to be MJF. And the biggest reason why, TV 14. I think that's going to be a good persuasion, I guess, to come over to WWE.
It remains to be seen what even difference that makes.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that's
they're
so
far.
Yeah, we still got to see what TV 14 actually translates to.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's just a little bit of blood on TV, then that ain't really much. Now, if we start seeing people drop some S-bombs on TV, or some bleeped out F-bombs, then we might be going somewhere.
Can we stop talking about Mrs. Tiny Balls for the love of God? I'm so sick and tired.
According to Maurice, they're fucking huge, like fucking the cancer balls from South Park.
Yeah, dude. But side note, Maurice looked fine as hell that night. As she always does when she's on Raw. But her purse looked like a set of balls. I was like,
I know.
Clever. So, but yeah, I'm totally over this tiny ball shtick. And yeah, let's get back to, I guess, better jokes for TV 14.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing we can say that is working in WWE's favor right now is, for the first time in probably quite some time, they have everybody's attention.
That is true.
Everybody's going to be, maybe will it translate to ratings or not? That remains to be seen. But for right now, everybody has their eyes on the WWE to see what it's going to look like moving forward. And they're going to have everybody's attention at least through the rest of this year. Probably up through WrestleMania next year to see what direction is this ship going. This is prime time for Triple H and Stephanie to capitalize on this and either make the most of it or squander it. Hopefully, they take full advantage of all the eyes that are on them right now. I think what happens over the next 6 months is going to set the WWE up for years to come, either positively or negatively.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, with that said, does anybody else have any other news you want to discuss? Anything I don't know about? Huh? Any news? Nothing? Nobody's bringing nothing to the table? No rumors? Nothing? Okay. That's fine.
Let's see.
Because I got nothing good. Wayne, you always got something good. Something I don't ever know. You always got something.
Well, 9 hours ago, Seth Rollins tweeted, "For anyone who purchased a ticket to SummerSlam hoping to see me in action, I apologize. I did everything I could over the last 6 months to earn my spot on this show, but some things are out of my control. Thank you for always singing my song. They'll hear you someday." And Triple H tweeted 4 hours ago, "I hear you." To Seth Rollins.
There is conflicting reports about that. I heard that Riddle was hurt, had a stinger, but I've also heard that it was a creative thing, and that's why it was canceled. And the Riddle's fine.
A lot of injuries.
So there is some weirdness going on there, and then at the very least.
And I've heard that Seth is going to be in Nashville on Saturday.
Right.
Because he's promoting the show on Friday.
Yeah.
I think that's partial kayfabe playing out. I think it is a kayfabe thing, and it's kind of partially playing out just over social media. I think they'll probably do something this Friday on SmackDown to get Seth Rollins back on the card. Whether that's the announcement of him wrestling and we'll reveal your surprise opponent at SummerSlam, or maybe they reveal the opponent Friday at SmackDown. But I think something's going to happen on SmackDown Friday to get him back on the card, one way or the other.
Cool. All right. Well, that's all I got. Dre, if anybody wants to talk to you, where can they find you? What do you want to plug?
Yep. You can find me in the PCW Discord or the PCL Discord under Outlaw Star.
Cool. Andrew, what do you got? What do you want to plug?
I'm Doyle316 in the Discord, and that's all I have to plug, I suppose.
All right. Wayne, what's up, man?
My Twitter is agent_DX007. No, agent DX_007. That's my Twitter and my Facebook and everything else.
All right. And then depending on, how my vacation pans out, we might be talking... I don't even know if we want to talk SummerSlam results, or do we just skip it and go right to a Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view? I don't know. We'll see how.
I think we kind of got to discuss the results. We wound up skipping Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a letdown because I honestly thought Money in the Bank was one of the better pay-per-views they put on this year.
I was busy, and I unfortunately I just was not around to do it, and I was kind of upset about it. But
it's all good. But like I said, that was
hopefully this one turns out pretty well. Like there's a mark out moment where I'm like we gotta fucking record. I gotta tell the guys. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be something, and the Discord will be alive.
We do have a lot. I mean, we got Flair's last match. There's a lot this weekend.
Yeah, we got a lot. So I mean, even if we can discuss that, and then the Monday after. So we can touch base on this again. We can do.
Y'all actually looking forward to Flair's last match?
No, it's gonna be terrible. But it's like how
it could
you
be
look
his
away.
last
It's like a car
anything.
crash.
Ain't nobody trying to watch Flair hit the ropes at half a mile per
How
hour.
can you look away?
He's going to be in the match for 5 seconds. It's going to be all
so
Andrade.
awful.
I could absolutely look away after watching that footage on social media of him training with what's his face?
Jay Lethal?
Yeah, with Jay Lethal.
He's
Watching
gonna,
that shit, I was like, oh.
Ric Flair is so old, he's gonna explode into dust when he hits the ground. Woo!
Yeah.
And his name is John Cena. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Ruthless.
No, it's true. It's damn true.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Bye, have a great time.